For decades, the United Kingdom stood as the ultimate study-abroad dream for Chinese students, a symbol of prestige, rich history, and a golden ticket to a brighter, more promising future. The allure of ancient universities, world-renowned professors, and the chance to walk the same halls as literary giants and scientific pioneers made the UK a beacon for ambitious youth across China. It wasn't just about education, it was about stepping into a world of opportunity, culture, and global connections. Getting into a UK university was more than just earning a degree. It was a rite of passage, a family milestone, and a source of immense pride. For many families, it was the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and hope. The acceptance letter was celebrated not just by the student, but by the entire extended family, proof that their efforts had paid off, and that their child was destined for something greater. Parents would save for years, often sacrificing personal comforts and postponing dreams of their own, all to send their child to the land of Shakespeare and Newton. Every yuan was carefully set aside, every expense scrutinized, because the dream was worth it. The journey to the UK was seen as an investment in the family's future, a way to secure a better life for the next generation. The goal, a world-class education, polished English, and a degree that opened doors everywhere, from multinational companies to government positions back home. The UK experience promised not just academic excellence but personal growth, global perspective, and lifelong friendships. But, in 2025, that dream is shifting. The once clear path to success now seems uncertain, and the excitement of departure is tinged with doubt and anxiety. Faith in the UK as the go-to destination is wavering. Stories of rising tuition, changing visa rules, and political tensions dominate conversations. Families who once saw the UK as a safe bet now find themselves questioning their choices. Families are asking, is the UK still worth it, or is it just an overpriced subscription with fewer benefits? With costs soaring and uncertainty growing, many are exploring other options, from Canada to Australia, or even staying closer to home. This isn't a minor change, it's a seismic shift. The flow of students that once seemed unstoppable is slowing, and the impact is being felt across campuses and communities. Chinese students contribute billions to the UK economy, and their hesitation sends shockwaves through British universities. Scholarships, research funding, and even local businesses feel the ripple effects as fewer students arrive each year. The story now is about economics, politics, and the real anxieties of young people mapping their futures. It's about families weighing risks, students searching for security, and institutions scrambling to adapt to a new reality. So, how did the UK go from dream destination to a question mark? Let's break it down and explore the forces reshaping the hopes and decisions of an entire generation. What made the UK so irresistible? For decades, students from all over the world dreamed of studying here, drawn by a unique blend of tradition, prestige, and opportunity that seemed almost magical. First, there's the Hogwarts effect. Those ancient campuses, sprawling green lawns, and libraries that look like they belong in a fantasy film. Walking through these storied halls, you can almost feel the weight of centuries of knowledge and history. For students from bustling, ultra-modern cities like Shanghai or Mumbai, the UK's historic charm was a huge draw. The architecture, the traditions, and the sense of being part of something bigger than yourself made it feel like stepping into another world. But it wasn't just about the looks, it was about the prestige and the promise of a brighter future. Names like Oxford, Cambridge, and LSE carried global weight. These universities weren't just schools, they were gateways to opportunity, opening doors in every corner of the world. Earning a UK degree was like holding a VIP pass for your career. It signaled to employers that you'd survived a rigorous academic gauntlet, and that you were ready for the challenges of the global job market. The one-year master's program was a game changer. It meant less time away from home, lower tuition costs, and a faster entry into the workforce, making the UK a smart, efficient, and practical choice for ambitious students. Compared to longer programs elsewhere, the UK's streamlined approach made it possible to save both time and money while still gaining a world-class education. Plus, the UK is the birthplace of English. Studying here meant total language immersion, and a chance to connect with a truly multicultural student community in vibrant cities like London and Manchester. For years, this unbeatable combination, rich history, global prestige, practical efficiency, and dynamic culture, made the UK the gold standard for international education. But times change, and so do student priorities. Rising costs, shifting job markets, and new global options are making students rethink their choices. Now the shine that once made the UK so cool is starting to fade, as students look for new destinations that better fit their dreams and realities. Let's talk money, because for many international students, this is where the dream of studying in the UK starts to get complicated. The UK, once seen as a top destination for higher education, is now losing ground when it comes to affordability. Tuition fees for international students have skyrocketed in recent years. Top master's programs can now cost up to £35,000 a year, and that's just for tuition alone. It's not just the super rich feeling the pinch. Even upper middle class families are finding it harder to keep up with these rising costs. For many, sending a child to the UK now means years of saving, loans, or even dipping into retirement funds. The return on investment, which once seemed guaranteed with a UK degree, is no longer a sure thing. Students and parents are starting to question if the high price tag is really worth it. And then there's the cost of living, something that's often underestimated. Everyday expenses like groceries, utilities, and phone bills have all gone up. Rent, food, transport, everything's more expensive than ever before. Even a simple trip to the supermarket or a bus ride across town can add up quickly. Student accommodation now eats up a huge chunk of the budget, often leaving little for anything else. Many students are forced to settle for cramped or shared spaces just to make ends meet. The dream of exploring British culture, traveling, or enjoying student life is often replaced by strict budgeting for groceries and skipping nights out with friends. More and more students are taking part-time jobs, not for extra pocket money, but just to cover the basics like rent and food. Balancing work and studies adds even more pressure. The financial stress is real, and it's making families back home rethink whether the UK is truly worth the premium price. For some, the sacrifices just don't seem justified anymore. Why pay so much more for a stressful, compromised experience when there are other options out there? The math just isn't adding up for many families. The numbers simply don't make sense. With countries like the US, Australia, and Canada offering competitive programs and sometimes better value, students are starting to look elsewhere for their education dreams. Chinese families are now comparing the UK to Canada, Australia, and top Asian universities. Canada's tuition is similar, but living costs are often lower, and the path to residency is clearer. Australia offers sun, beaches, and more generous post-study work visas. Both countries market themselves as welcoming and stable, huge selling points. Meanwhile, top universities in Hong Kong, Singapore, and mainland China are gaining global prestige. Why fly 10 hours to the UK when you can get a world-class education closer to home for less? The UK is no longer the only game in town. It's a global marketplace, and right now, the UK's offer looks overpriced. Students are shopping around, and the UK is losing its edge. The competition is fierce, and the UK can't rely on its old reputation. It needs to adapt fast. Rising costs are bad, but the UK's visa policies are even worse. Constant changes and political debates have created a fog of uncertainty. The ban on bringing dependents hit mature students hard, sending a message, "We want your money, not your family." The graduate route visa, once a major draw, is now under review. Will it stay or go? This instability makes planning for the future nearly impossible. Students crave predictability, not policy U-turns. In contrast, Canada and Australia offer clear, stable pathways for international graduates. The UK's chaotic approach is driving students away. Why risk tens of thousands of pounds on a country that might change the rules halfway through? For many, the UK now feels like an unreliable partner. The uncertainty is just too much. Geopolitics can't be ignored. UK-China relations have cooled, and that tension trickles down to students. Chinese media sometimes paints the West as less welcoming, fueling parental worries about safety and acceptance. In the UK, increased scrutiny and suspicion make Chinese students feel like outsiders. No one wants to study in a place where they feel unwelcome or targeted. The ideal of open-minded cultural exchange is harder to achieve when politics get in the way. Many students now prefer countries with more neutral or stable ties to China. Some are even choosing to stay home, confident in the quality of Chinese universities. The political climate is making closer to home more attractive than ever. Forget glossy brochures. Real talk happens on Xiaohongshu and Weibo. Students share unfiltered stories about the true cost of living, job struggles, and feeling unwelcome in the UK. These posts go viral, shaping perceptions far more than any official marketing. In contrast, stories from Canada and Australia highlight friendlier policies and better work-life balance. Peer-to-peer advice is powerful. Negative UK experiences get amplified while positive stories from elsewhere attract new students. University ads can't compete with a viral post about real life abroad. The social media verdict? The UK needs to do more than rest on its old reputation. It must improve the actual student experience. Students trust each other's stories more than any official pitch. The feedback loop is real and it's changing the game. So, what should Chinese students do now? First, ditch old assumptions. There's no one-size-fits-all answer anymore. Become the CEO of your own education. Research, compare, and budget realistically. Don't just look at tuition, factor in rent, groceries, and daily expenses. Use social media and forums to get real numbers from current students. Compare total costs and post-study work options in the UK, Canada, and Australia. Investigate visa stability and job prospects. Don't just trust official websites. Connect with alumni and student groups for honest advice. Ask about challenges, surprises, and what they wish they'd known. Your perfect destination is out there, but it takes real research and self-awareness. The best choice is the one that fits your goals, budget, and future plans. Don't let old myths or glossy ads make the decision for you. Take control. Your future is in your hands. We've broken down the numbers, politics, and social media buzz. The UK is no longer the automatic top choice, it's just one of many. For some, it's still the perfect fit. For others, Canada, Australia, or staying in China makes more sense. The power is now with you, the student. Universities and countries are competing for your talent and investment. Your choices will shape the future of international education. So what's your take? Did you choose the UK, or did you go elsewhere? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could help someone else make this huge decision. Spill the tea.